Hi, Emmy Locke with Balanced Living, Restoring Wholeness to Body, Mind, Spirit. Today I'm sharing a segment of my personal healing journey. I have 4 crash and burn seasons, but I've decided not to call them crash and burn, which sounds like I just die. Instead, I like the idea of the phoenix that dies in glorious flames and combustion and rises again out of the ashes to be glorious. And I would say that is my journey. Every death in my flames results in rising out of the ashes to be a more authentic and radiant me. Before I start, I do want to say that telling my personal journey is a little bit tricky. Often our pain does not happen in a vacuum. It happens a lot of times in relationships that are the most important ones. And I just want to say that I love everybody who has been part of my story. And I want to do a really good job of honoring all the people in my life. I'm not telling my story to hurt anyone else. I'm telling it to help others know that we can be hurt, but we can also heal in relationship. And so for all of you who might be afraid that I may say something about you that sounds negative, I am not planning to do that. I really will be honoring and tell my story in more general terms so that I'm not giving details. I would like to give overarching principles of how my life played out and how I found healing to encourage others on their journey. So to start, my first Phoenix experience started in college, as it will often be the case when you have a major transition into a new season of life. You have this moment of self-awareness when you're out of your normal environment and you can see things about yourself that you haven't seen before. That was certainly my situation in college. I realized as a firstborn, perfectionistic, overachieving, very German heritage good girl, that I did not have a very good relationship to emotion. I did a good deal of stuffing everything I was really feeling and thinking for the goal. And I don't think anybody had to teach me actually that emotions were a little bit scary and definitely would be more hindering to my driven personality than helpful. At least that's what I thought. The other major thing that I learned in that season of life, of that crash and burn, was that I was pretty isolated. I am an introvert, so that did not help. But I did not have a very good system of learning how to be in a community where I could be authentic and vulnerable with what was really happening in my life. So I did a lot of putting on the smile, saying everything was great, never really tapping into what I was actually thinking or feeling because that was too scary and maybe it was too messy and I might be too broken, and I didn't really want anyone to know that. So I kept a pretty good shield here. I started going to counseling in my first year of college and just looking at some of the things that kept me back here and kept me in some of my painful mindsets, and definitely my relationship to emotions and my isolation were the 2 big deals. So in this Phoenix moment, I learned that it is a way better option to allow yourself to be honest with what you're thinking and feeling and experiencing in safe community and let that emotion come out little by little, rather than wait until all of a sudden you decide, oh, maybe I have some emotion hidden in there and I need to deal with it. And as I did that, I cried for 3 full months, pretty much anywhere and everywhere I was at. in class, in the lunchroom, when I was at the basketball court, in my dorm room. My poor roommate dealt with more tears than she knew what to do with. And I didn't know when I would stop crying, when that well of tears was either going to stop. But it did eventually, and a profound healing experience happened out of that. My relationship to emotion definitely changed. As most of you know, I can cry on the drop of a hat. I let myself feel what I need to feel when I need to feel it, within reason. I do a lot of journaling. I do a lot of processing out loud with my best friends, because at that period I learned that vulnerable communication with safe people is one of the most healing things that can happen. So that is my first Phoenix moment. And I would just leave you with the question, what is your relationship to emotion? And what is your relationship to community? And have you been able to find some healing through human contact, especially if some of your pain happened through human contact? It's really special part of a healing journey to find safe people who can give you permission and safe space to feel what you need to feel, and happy healing on your own journey.